Everyone, welcome back. Welcome to Coding Ambitions. I hope you guys are doing extremely well. So let's continue with this video. So in this video, we will discuss about navigation 3 bottom bar. So how we can use the navigation 3 with the bottom bar. Okay. So we will discuss both types of navigation, like bottom bar with nested navigation, bottom bar without nested navigation. So for that, first of all, you will have to check my previous video on this navigation 3. So there I have discussed the basic of this navigation. So how we can use it, what is NavDisplay. So everything is there. So introduction is there. I have also like shown you how we can navigate using the navigation 3 in that video and why navigation 3 was needed. So prerequisite is that video. So after that, we can come back to here. So this code, most of the code like this, I have already written in that video. We have written it completely from scratch in that video. We covered 2 examples in that video. You can check out that. So basic is covered there. And now let's continue with that bottom bar. Okay. So first of all, we will be discussing the bottom bar nested navigation. So let's say we have 4 screens. 3 are like home, list screen, profile. These are the bottom tab screens. This is top level root. This is very pretty basic information. If you do coding in like Jetpack Compose or in Kotlin, so you know about these. Like we define the top level roots or these kind of things using the data classes or objects in the navigation. So if you see, these are the top level roots. Okay, and I have just created screens as well. Simple UI, just very simple UI for this composable, so that I can reduce the time of the video, so that it will not take longer. Okay, so let's continue with this. So first of all, basically what we need to do, so we need to use this scaffold. Okay, so just make sure you have checked out the previous video on this and you have added all the dependencies and other things for this to work. Okay, so now let's continue with this. So in this scaffold, I will be like adding the navigation bar or bottom bar. If you see bottom bar, so how ideally we do that, using the top level roots, we will be applying the for loop here. So inside the bottom bar, we use the navigation bar mostly in the material 3. Okay, so then we will be applying the for each here. Okay, and in this for each, it will provide you root, and we can just apply that simple logic here that we mostly do in other simple navigation as well. If root equal to, so even before that, we need to do one thing. So basically we need to create a backstack. After that I will be coming to this. So there is just a simple backstack here. What we need to do is, I will be explaining each method of this backstack, but as of now, let's say I'm adding few things here. These are top level stacks, which we are maintaining the separate stack for each root. Okay, for each root, for each tab, you can say. So we are using the linked hash map. Why? Because it maintains the order, and we need that. We need the order of the items we are adding in the stack here. And linked hash map of, first of all, this is just a simple class. If you see bottom bar backstack, and T is just any type of the top level root here. Home tab, like home tab, profile tab, that will be the T here type. Start key is the starting key for that tab. What is the starting destination of that? So start key to for each key, because we are maintaining the stack, so there will be mutable state list as we do in the stack. Okay, for start key, we have just currently start for this key only, we stack with this key only. Okay, for this key we have only this stack which have only this key. Okay, initial one. And one, we need top level key. That is the main top level key with which we will be interacting mostly. What is currently at the top, you can say it like that. Okay, and it is just, this is just export, but set, we can set it only from this. That's why we are setting the setters as private. And we need one backstack as well. That will be the current backstack. Again, we are starting everything with the start key. Okay, it means like for which tab, suppose from home tab we are starting, so home tab will be passing here and everything will be created for that. Top level key for home stack, and then top level stacks with that home only as of now, and then we have backstack for that. So this backstack mostly we will be interacting with, so I will show you. And then let's say just add the skeleton of methods. I will implement these methods later. First of all, we will be needing the update backstack. Okay, and then we will be needing the add top level key. I will be explaining each of these methods. We can just remove, these are the public ones. Okay, then we have just add any root. This is at top level like tabs, and this is just for the any kind of navigation entry. Then we have removed last, because while navigating, while pressing the back button, then we need to remove the last item. Okay, so these methods will be needing there, and this backstack we will be using there. And as we discussed in the previous video, we can now use the backstack in the view model as well. Okay, so here if you see, this is from the previous video. Now I'll be adding the new one. So here I will be using the mutable state of that class which we have created there with the home as the starting root. This one, start key is this. Okay, and this bottom bar stack we will be getting here. Okay, cool. And then getting its value. Okay, so now we can continue with our logic. So here, if you see, for selecting if it's selected or not, for that we need to match this. For each entry we are matching the current root with the or maybe we can name it top level backstack. That will be good. So top level backstack dot top level key, as I mentioned, that is the top key currently on the, which we just pushed recently, that will be maintaining the top level key. Okay, so if that key is the matching with the current key, so it means it's selected. Okay, and again this same logic, navigation bar item, passing the selected. Inside the selected we can pass is selected and all other things. On click, so on click what we will be doing is top level backstack dot. So on tab click what we'll be doing, so suppose we have 3 tabs, 1 2 3, these tabs. on click, what we'll be doing is, so as I mentioned, we have one method for that at top level. Okay, and pass the current route here. I will be explaining while implementing these methods. Okay, and then we can just add the icon as per our need. Icon image vector, route dot icon, content description null. Okay, and that's it. And now, so if you will be checking out previous videos, so we use the nav display here. Okay, for instead of nav host, we use the nav display here. You will be noticing this there. Okay, even let's copy it from the previous example. If you see this one, so that it will save a little bit more time, let's copy this one, nav entry provider based. Okay, so let's copy it and add it here, and we'll modifying the things here accordingly. Okay, we can remove this stuff not needed, and we can add our entries accordingly. Okay, so if you see on back, it will be top backstack, remove last, as I mentioned, last added entry. Okay, in our list, and here we can pass dot, it has backstack, that is the current backstack with which we'll be working with. Okay, and then we can pass these entry decorators. I have explained all of these to like mapping the item nav entry with the view model. For those we need these entry decorators, you can check them out in the previous video. And then we can define our entries. This is the way, like entry provider, we have two ways. We can provide some function as well. I can show you just a quick recap of that. If you see, this is the entry provider method. We can directly define the entry here, but we have another way as well, this one functional way, nav entry. Then we can have on the basis of this key, we can like check out which entry we need. Is if this key is this, then we can define this nav entry and all that stuff, but we are using the entry provider here. Okay, so on the home, we can add just the home screen with the title home screen. Okay, then we have, let's remove it. Then we have not comma, list screen, and for that I have created the list screen UI. Okay, and it have one method, so I will show you. Go to detail, on go to detail. Okay, because there will be a list of items, just for example. So and then we will be going to detail. For that, what we need to do is, again we will be using the top level backstack dot add, because we are not adding top level. Top level is about the 3 tabs, but we are just adding simple entry. For that we will be using the add method, and here we will be passing the list detail, and let's say for dummy id as of now, but you can pass like the complete class here. Okay, and then finally we can have profile. Okay, profile, right? And even let's apply this padding as well. content padding. Okay, and in the detail, so one more screen which we need to provide, that is the, because here we are discussing the nested navigation inside the tab itself. Okay, so here we have list detail and detail screen, and if you see, detail screen will be accepting the content here. I just made it like little bit dynamic. Okay, so we can pass whatever content we want to show, just a simple text where we will be showing the detail id which we received from the arguments. So how we can get that? It's pretty easy, just directly from the entry. From this scope it's providing us content, from there it's providing us t, type of the item, like this list detail. From there we can get it id. Okay, if you see its type is list detail, and we can show that id here. Okay, and we can add maybe one more thing here, that is the button. Okay, so on button we have on click, and on click what we will be doing is going back. So for going back we have a remove last. Okay, and just add one text for the button, go back. Okay, so this is about this, and if now I try to run it, nothing will happen, but I will just show you UI, because now the main logic is inside that BackStack class, which I will be explaining you, this one. Oops, I think we are not using it inside the main activity. Yeah, we are using this separate. So let's try to do it again. Meanwhile it's running, let's add one more thing here. We can consume window insets so that it will look better. Padding will be proper there. Dot status bars. Done. Let's check it. If you see, we have 3 tabs here. Okay, yeah, as of now nothing, because no navigation is happening. If you see, nothing is selected, so just currently on the VR home screen. Okay, so now let's explain that, like, let's implement that bottom bar stack, backstack. Okay, so let's come to that point. So first of all, let's implement the add top level. Okay, so for adding in the top level, what we need to do, if you observe carefully things, these are 3 tabs. If suppose for this tab is already there, if we click on this, we need to add this entry there. Okay, so we will check first of all top level stacks. For this entry, for this tab, if we have the entry in the list of stacks which we are maintaining here, top level stacks, it is a list of, if you see, this is a linked hash map on the basis of this key. This key will be home, list, profile. Okay, and for each key we are maintaining a separate stack. This is immutable state list of, this is the stack. Okay, so in this, with that key, given key, we will be checking. If it is null, then we will be adding. Okay, top level stacks dot, in the map we use the put method, put key, and initially we will be adding the mutable state list of with this key, because this will be the first entry of that stack. While I will be clicking on this, we will be creating a separate backstack, and on that backstack this list screen will be the current entry, this key. On this key we have this backstack. Okay, And then what we need to do, else case. If already exists, in that case, what we need to do? For this, we have already existing backstack for the list, right? So we need to move this to the end of the backstack, because that's where the whole logic applies. So if we will be moving it to the back of the backstack, so only then the nav display will be displaying, right? Because that displays the last entry. Okay. So if you see, for that, what we'll be doing is multiple operations. So let's copy the previous stack first of all. Remove key from the map. This is the old stack we are getting. And then what we will be doing is, if this is not null, we will be putting it back. By this way, it will be moving to the end of the list. And that's it. And after that, what we need to do is, after doing all this operation, we need to update the top level key as well, because that is the current key with which we are working. Nav display will be using that. Okay. If you see, we are using that top level key for checking out, because that is the current, you can say that is the current key for the tabs. Okay. And finally, we have update backstack. So this method I will be explaining in the end, update backstack. This will be doing in most of the cases, so that to maintain the consistency, so that there will be not any issues with the logic. And then we have just the simple add, and it's pretty easy. So for simple add, what we need to do is, we need to remove the last key. Okay. Last key, top level backstacks, top level stacks, and the last key means we will be using the top level key. Cool. And then if not null, we will be using the remove last or null, because it's nullable. So we'll be using remove last or null. If last is not there, it will be just returning null. Okay. Top level stacks, then so there will be two cases here. So this is the current displayed screen. Okay. Removed last key. Suppose we are on the nested navigation. From the list we are on some other screen. Okay. From the list we have gone to the detail. It's that. So we removed that. And another case can be, if the removed key was a top level key. If the key which we removed, suppose it is the detail, it is not the top key, then top level keys are these three. But if we are on this screen, suppose in the home or maybe on the list, then we are applying that logic, remove last. Okay. So then what we'll be doing is, we will be removing the top level key as well. If it is top level, it will automatically check. If it exists, it will remove, otherwise not. This is the simple entry removal. Nav entry or root. Okay. Top level root. And after that, we will be updating the top level key from the stack. We will be getting the last key. After deleting whatever is left there, that is the last. So after, suppose we deleted the last one, now the second last one will become the last. That's why we are picking it up. Okay. And again we are updating the backstack. Okay. My bad. This logic we wrote for the remove last. Okay. And for adding is pretty easy. If you see, top level backstack, and again we'll be picking up the top level key, and then we will be just adding that key. It's pretty easy. Okay, my bad. I was thinking like we are working in the like remove last. Yeah, completely my mistake. Okay, so this is about the remove last, which I explained. So we need to remove first of all the top level key, then sorry, not the top level. If it's not top level, simple key, then we need to remove the top level. So simple key is like on the top level key. Suppose on this top level key, we will be getting its backstack, and from that backstack we'll be removing that, and if it's top level, then we are directly removing the complete stack. Okay, for that. Okay, and then we are getting the top level stacks from keys last key, that will be updating the key. And so this is about this add and remove last. Okay, and after this, every that is we are doing everywhere, that is update backstack. Now let's come to the update backstack, what it's doing. So here what we'll be doing is basically we will be just removing the all entries. We will be clearing it to make the consistency. Okay, and then we will be adding all. What all? From the top level stacks, and then from we will be using the flat map here basically. So we'll be getting all the stacks, and from the all the stacks we'll be getting all the entries. Okay, it dot value is the here, if you see. So it is like it is the map dot entry, because this is the map, so flat map. From the entry we are getting the that's value. So for the map entry we have key and value. And at the value what we have is stacks. If you see here, this is the type of value, that is the stacks. Okay, so we are adding all the entries from all the stacks here. Okay, so you can learn about the flat map, it's pretty easy. We return ideally the list. From the list of lists we want to create one list, then we use the flat map. Okay, so it will be doing like for all the top level stacks, for like all these navigations. If we have all, for this we have two entries, for this we have three entries, for this we have one entries, it will be adding all those nav entries inside this backstack, because we need to maintain the backstack. So that is the logic which we will be doing every time, everything on everything, like every function. If we are adding top level, we are adding simple, we are removing, every time we will be doing this. So let's try to now start it and run. If you see, it's working pretty fine. Home, list, then we have profile. So these transitions, if you see, it's coming from the left to right to left. If you see like this, we can remove them if needed. So you can check them in the nav display here. Here, if you comment them out, it will not happen. Okay, now if you see, just simple. Okay, so if I show you now, go to detail. So this is the nested navigation. If you see, and go back is also working fine. If you see, it's going to go detail, then go back. So if you see clearly, this list screen has its nested navigation. We have this list tab selected already, but we have gone to the other screen, right? This is the nested navigation. If we click on back also, it's working pretty fine. And if I click back, then it went to the previous, that is the profile. If I click back again, it will home. So it will maintain the order in which we press these buttons, or like we in which order we were navigating. Okay, so this is the nested navigation. Now another one can be the separate navigation. For these tabs will be separate, these tabs, and detail, for detail, let's say without tabs, detail will be the separate one. Okay, for that what we need to do is, so this whole navigation will become the one, this thing. If you see, detail we will be removing from here, and we will be keeping in the outer backstack. You say there will be two backstack, one for this bottom bar only, another one for the top level, that is the, like, for this bottom bar whole, this whole of this will be the one entry, and another one will be the detail. Okay, so let's go to that. So this one, so if you see tabs, that is the one entry for the navigation, and then we have list detail, that is the another entry. This is the detail one will be removing from their tabs. Okay, so I will be copying this logic basically, because we will be modifying it accordingly. For this I will be adding just one tabs, let's say. Okay, let's say tab screen. And from here we will be accepting one callback as well for going to the detail, where we will be passing the id or whatever you want to do. Like we want to pass the some data class, you can pass that as well here. Okay, so and here what we need to do, what changes we need to do. If you see, scaffold will be keeping, bottom bar will be keeping, nav display we will be keeping, but what just need to remove detail. And for the detail we will be coming from here, go to detail. This one we will be removing it as well from here. Here we will be passing our that callback. Go to detail. Okay, from there we are not accepting the argument, so we can pass them here. We can call it like, suppose we have id 1, this one will be getting from the list basically. Okay, so and now we are good. We will be using this tab and another. So for that again we need to use one nav display here for the outer backstack. Okay, so let's copy it. Okay, and here, so here which screens we need, again we will be needing one backstack as well here. So that again we can add here, just simple one like this. This is the main backstack. Okay, so here we will be accepting the tabs. Yeah, this one, that will be the start destination. Okay, and this one we will be using the main backstack. Okay, and so this main backstack will be displaying playing the main role here. Okay, so here we'll be passing that. We can remove this. Okay, and here we will be again using the main backstack, and what we use is remove last or null. This method we use for the going back. This is the same concept which I explained in the previous video as well on the Compose Navigation 3. Okay, so inside the tabs, if you see here, we can display that tab screen which we just created, and which is accepting the one callback as on go to detail. So what we'll be doing on go to detail, main backstack dot add, just simply add list detail. Okay, we are going to the detail. id it will be providing us via argument, if you see this one. Okay, or you can use it like this. Okay, and another one is the list detail screen. We can remove this profile as well, and here on this list detail, basically we can pick that up from here. Okay, like this. So I pick up the whole entry. Okay, so here also we can get the passed argument directly from the it. Okay, it will providing the complete class here, if you see in this content composable. And then we can use the main backstack. So on click again remove last or null, that is for the going back. Okay, so now we can try to run it, this one, instead of that navigation. If you see, let's see. So everything is similar, we have tabs, but now if you go to detail, if you see, now tabs are not there, that is the separate For the tabs, now we have separate navigation, and for other screens, let's say we have separate navigation. We are not using the nested navigation for each of them. Okay, this is how we can go back as well. So this is how we can use the separate navigation as well with the bottom bar. So if you see, we have covered both ways with the bottom navigation, nested navigation, and separate navigation. Similarly, for the detail, you can have other screens as well. For the from the profile, if you are going somewhere like user detail or anything, you can implement that the same way like this. We have implemented this screen. So if you are using the separate navigation and we want 3 tab screens plus other screens, then you can add all those other screens here like the list detail and implement the logic similarly. But if you want nested navigation, you can add all those screens here. Okay, suppose for profile as well, if you want like nested navigation from this profile, you want to keep this tab showing and then going to another screen, that is the nested navigation, then you can use this way, otherwise this way. Okay, so transitions I have already covered in the previous video. So bottom bar navigation we have also covered. So in the coming video we will cover another topic as well related to compose navigation. So that's all about this, guys. I will put the source code link in the description of the video. So that's all about, guys. So I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have enjoyed it, please like, share and comment on it, and please do consider subscribing. That motivates me to create more content like this, and I will see you in another video with another cool content. Till then, bye bye, take care, have a great time, keep coding.